Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and inventing and amazing spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, your website defender of the fatherland, of the 1v1 own Arnhem Checkpoint. The north, it is Sakura, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, on the road to Berlin. Taking on the role here of the 2nd Armored Division with mechanized, tactical support and urban assault. West and south, it is Elpern, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, rolling out here with the 21st Panzer Division, with Jaeger Infantry, Osttruppen, and German Infantry, with a mix of infantry and Panzer bulletins. As always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, these champions of the Propagandacast. Without them, certainly, this episode would likely not have been possible. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon. You can always just donate. Links are in the video description. And as always, always just comment, like, share, subscribe, and press the bell button to subscribe. Spread the word of the new Propagandacast. As at this point, it looks very unlikely I'm ever going to get my old YouTube channel back at this point. Like, I don't know if this is actually going to be possible unless something drastically changes with Google, which unlikely will. So I've got the Pioneers here, pushed it to the eastwards here. First shot's fired around the centre. We've got the MD-14 eastwards, Gunners moving westwards. Church already occupied by the rifle squad. Elpern here so far, not going to try and push into the centre, I imagine, which would be very wise. It's going to take some time to dig out the Americans from the centre there. Meanwhile, back here, probably going to see a third rifle squad soon here for Sakura, though of course we could also see a small chance of fast tech. MD-14 at the carve point. Elpern here committing to German Infantry. A solid choice then, certainly a steady choice for many players. Veteran Grenadiers, they're obviously very good. Stormtroopers was quite handy. Assault and hold, if you remember to use it, is really good. And of course the fragmentation mob, if you can land it correctly, is quite painful. More Grenadiers away there for Elpern. These need some point. Third squad from there on the way. Westward bound, we've got Grenadiers for the fuel or victory point there. Need to Kevin not to leave himself too extended here versus Sakura. MD-42. Oh, repositioning just the worst time. There's Ralph coming in there. Quickly punishing move there for Elpern. Ralph Scott will make this to stop nonetheless. And there we go. Went quite in heavy cover. Gunners was Ralph Scott here. One squad round. One falling to the church. West side here. Gunners grab the western victory point here. Bit back and forth in this early game here between the two sides. Third Ralph Scott inbound. Machine gun short to center. Going to assist here. Pioneers moving eastwards there. Continuing up the pressure here. And I imagine we'll soon get the third Grenadier squad there for Elpern. Very good. Grenadiers pushing westwards here. Going to keep moving ahead. For that few point there, look to disrupt Sakura in the early game before the rifle squad inside the church of North Rifle Squad coming in. They're going to attack from the north here. Could go for urban assault and try and chuck a Molotov in through at the MD-42 there. From an angle they can't quite hit back at. Rifle Squad there reinforcing. We do get the return there for Sakura. And grabbing the western fuel point there, utterly unopposed. Good play there by Elpern. MD-42 could be quite a significant force modifier here for Elpern right now versus Sakura in the early game. Does strike a bit with them unless they can swarm it. And hit it fast. MD-4 to grab the eastern fuel point here. Of North, got the Rifle Squad moving eastwards there, not fully reinforced. Lieutenant almost done. Elpern can begin taking up here and certainly would benefit a lot from it. Though he may also just commit to a fourth Grenadier squad here. Some players like to do that when they go for veteran or German infantry builds.
We're losing a capture point.
Machine gun caught in a bad spot there and routed. Still, west side Elpern keeps up pressure there. Then now he will soon feel the fuel pain himself as well. We'll need to launch a counter attack to keep the rifleman off there for long. Almost got the western car point, got the fuel point. So far, Elpern is otherwise, I think leading quite nicely in terms of momentum here as a Sakura. But now with the lieutenant out, 50 car and of course the Stuart light tank is also a suited to be thing there. Elpern taking up himself, very good. Pioneers they're being focused down, but at the same time, very crucially, they're drawing away far from the Grenadiers, meaning the Grenadiers get to fight the rifle much more easily. As long as doesn't lose the Pioneers, it will, I think, overall work out well. Ralph Squad from the north here, keeping him off the car point for as long as possible. Didn't quite grab that one. I guess he's going to have to connect it through the victory point and the other point here. Quite a bit of scattered formations here. There's relations in the church. MD-4 reinforcing. Pioneers probably going to be able to like to make a nice come here. They could also push out a fast Panzer squad here right now. We can go for 250 half track. Bit more risk in some ways, but I think on a map like this could be quite powerful if they're used correctly. Ralph got the routed car point secured. And there we go. Almost got the western fuel point also connected. Just needs the point here, otherwise it won't help. In the center we got fresh push here by Sakura looking to deny this from happening. You can see it in the west. I need to launch a counter attack towards the carve point and move down here to assist in the center. MD-4 jumping to the south, going to use the lone health. Don't think we're able to match easily, to be honest. I think we can pull back as soon as possible. There we go, fighting here. Ralph Squad versus the Grenadiers. Looks like Sakura's not paying too long. The Grenadiers get several free hits on the Rifle Squad. Small win there, losing the cutoff point in the east again. Sakura not slowing down for anything here.
Out of contact.
Flame rifle ready, can use reinforcing. Can call in stormtroopers now. Like we'll go for normal car to get the fuel, but again, Sakura's fuel harassment has made it much harder here for Elpern to get out an armored car fast enough. Enemies there, plus we got an assault with Molotovs. In this case, hits the wrong building. Hits the wrong building. Throw, Charles! Throw! God damn it, Charles, you hit the wrong building. God damn. Well, we'll just blame it on the crowds. Grand Western victory point there.
Let's give them help. Squad, get ready. Steady up.
Ambulance on the way there.
Taking the field.
Pack 40, he's clearly worried about light tank seed and needs the fuel pump being grabbed. It's only going to be a bit of an interesting distribution of the map control here. With the north side having the fuel in the east, and the south player then having the western fuel. Not the common one, but not super unique either. Always troops around in the west. Sandbag up the centre, maybe consider some telemines as well. Would expect an armoured car here though, but with the fuel situation is for Elpern, I can understand why he's not going for an armoured car. So urban assault versus German infantry. Back edge reinforcing helificker on the way there for Sakura to deal with German infantry.
Anti-tank gun has arrived.
And there you go, Pack 40 out, the Panzerabwehrkanone 40. Standard anti-tank gun of the German army for a good deal of the war. They would eventually find itself in effect sort of supplanted by Panzerschrecks, as the Pack 40, while it's certainly lighter than most other anti-tanks at stage, or sort of caliber, was still rather heavy to move about and, required, a lot of logistical support to haul around, whereas Panzerschrecks just, requires a guy to haul it around, so... In that sense, Pack 40s were slowly being phased out there by the end of the war, in a sense. And Gunners holding up here, Molotov against the Pioneers, pushing them back, and east side here has managed to cut off his opponent's fuel. Good work there by Elpern. Sakura there buying the MB42, the Gunners opening weight. We've got no better Gunners yet. We've got a Stormtrooper squad, MB40s, very nice. Used correctly can be quite painful for Sakura to deal with. Troops right here around the centre, Pioneers in the fire. The North of Ross coming up with a 5th count in support. Storm's going to sneak in him, Lieutenant. A well-timed tactical advance here could be quite devastating for Sakura. And the second in armour, and there you go. Yeah, that's looking like it's going to be a wipe here, and boom! Thumbs up there to Elpern, good using the Stormtroopers and their tactical advance. Death covers the Gunners here, pushing the Gunners out of the restaurant. Back here, troop reinforcing. No healing yet, no veteran squad leaders. No vehicles either. Meanwhile, Sakura is still away from the Stuart, but not much longer. Meanwhile, Ralph's got to be pursued by the Stormtroopers, taking heavy damage. Losing the western fuel point and the cutoff point. 5th calculated up another gun these here. They can't, I think, stall for much longer there. Pioneers going to use MD4 coming up through the centre. Got the eastern cutoff point. He's got the cut fuel point. But still good progress here by Elpern. Good manoeuvre by both sides. Still going to catch the other off guard. And we got Rangers out here for Sakura. Thumbs up. Adding the Thompsons as well. Turning into quite excellent assault troops of a higher quality. 40 think was meant to go at the point, but isn't actually on the point. Might have been a misclick, or might have been some misinterpreted pathing by the computer. Sometimes it does do weird things. Alright, not much going on. He could consider adding a Panther in the squad. He could also go for a machine gun. That could be handy. Mortars could also be a consideration here for Elpern versus Sakura. Fun going on there. Another option could be, for example, laying down some bunkers around the centre. Maybe sort of make it harder for Elpern just to, or Sakura to charge in there. Or maybe by the eastern fuel point. They could also be able to use some of the spare manpower on. A few considerations really there for Elpern to consider versus Sakura. Rangers pushing forwards here. Punching to the rifle squad. Got Molotov there, going to force retreat. Rangers also flanking up here. MD42 in the church could be a problem. In particular, remembers to pop the incendiary armor piercing rounds. They are quite good. Able to do some serious damage. Troops are reinforcing. Need to get back to the front line though. I'm sending armor piercing out. In fact, that's not the munitions for it now. Gunners coming in. We got some veteran gunners out there for Elpern. Very good. But the church is about to get completely assailed here by Sakura. And Elpern, I think, cannot, in good conscience, leave the machine gun for much longer. There you go. Grenade there from the Rangers. Almost took out the entire machine gun crew. A harsh explosion of sinister proportions there against Elpern's troops. Gunners need to retreat as well. Things ain't quite done. Got the Storm Squad moving up here. Flooding manpower. In fact, flooding a lot of manpower here. Definitely spend that on something. Again, either more infantry. But again, an additional machine gun here could also be quite handy. Or maybe a mortar. Definitely, I think, something to make. There's flanking the 5th cavalry. Very good flank there by Elpern. Very good. Stormtroopers, Rangers. Gotta be careful about tactical advance. Like, you don't want to pop it at like too far ranges, because at that point, the bonus doesn't help them more than helps the enemy. Particularly, remember, they also become easier to hit. So you got to remember, it's about, you know, catching your opponent, like, you know, in good spots, using it to wipe, but also, like, you know, catching in soft, like, in situations where they don't have much DPS. For some of us other assault troops, like Rangers with Thompsons, you don't actually want to be using tactical advance if possible. Unless, like, you know, they're pointing at another unit, in which case you can quickly get in the first few bursts, get in the advantage. But for example, right there, that was a bad usage of tactical advance. It's a very good ability, but it's also one that does require, you know, specifically when and when not to use it, or else you can quickly get punished. But again, very utilized, very powerful ability, and certainly one of my favorites in the game. We got more Rangers here for Sakura. That's going to be a real problem there for Elpern. And Elpern, I think, definitely should be adding Panzer Grenadiers instead of committing to more veteran Grenadiers, which I guess works. Fuel harassment also now working up really well there for Sakura. Both sides may want to take for medium armor at the same pace. But yeah, Elpern there definitely also slightly made a mistake on top of them. The Stormtroopers also putting too much manpower rather than investing into more stuff that could, like, you know, have an impact around here. And I definitely feel like increasingly, all the infantry that Sakura's just throwing at Elpern here, that another MG42 team could be an extremely good unit to get. But there you go, more Stormtroopers though. And again, not bad. Just gotta remember to use tactical advantage a bit better this time around. And if possible, using semi-armor piercing rounds on the MG42. Again, it's a very overlooked ability, but again, used correctly, it can really just tear apart an enemy assault and just give you so much more damage in. There you go, assault here for Sakura, routed in the center by stout feats of arms there by Elpern's troops. Storms was ready with MP40s. Back here, nothing further going on there for Sakura. In fact, we got tech there, very good. Elpern meanwhile has yet to take up. Continues reinforcing, can also of course do a bit of healing on themselves. Definitely need to get the fuel points back before this becomes way too advantageous for Sakura and the 2nd Armored here. That's the 21st Panzer Division. Stormtroopers grabbing the car on there, very good. Infantry moving up, setting up there. Nice aggressive spread. Rangers being floated out. This is where more really helpful is going to go for the rifle grenades, which obviously do help a bit. The car point. Rangers moving in. Thompson's almost done. Ooh, baited. Oh, he baited there, Elpern. He went in with the Rangers right as they're about to get the upgrade, hoping that Elpern would pop tactical advance and ambush them. And then, of course, they had the Thompsons ready right as they popped it. Oh, that was really mean there by Sakura. That was a good bait there of Elpern. He took it hook, line, and sinker. Again, like in those situations, you also expect, is my opponent upgrading the Rangers right at that time and could actually, you know, murder my Stormtroopers right there again. Keep in mind, Stormtrooper tech advance great in a lot of situations, but against, like, you know, elite infantry with submachines and whatnot, you don't want to pop it while they're aiming straight at your men because they will then beat you. It's more about, like, you know, if they're pointing at another unit because the prize has another target or stuff like riflemen, resistance and support teams. In those situations, great pop it, even like they're pointing right at you. But against like Rangers or Shock Troopers or Commandos, you do not want to pop tactical advances, they're pointing it straight at you, they're going straight at you. Finish the resistance in the east. So while I do commend Elpern and trying to make use of the ability, which is great, he does need to keep that little detail there in mind. But again, it is great to make use of it, it is important to try to make use of it, so they're helpful. If you're a better player, that you try stuff and you make mistakes, as long as you understand them what the mistake was. But again, it is a good ability, so I do understand wanting to use as much as possible. But again, when it comes to like other assault troops, that's probably like the one area you do not use it, at least not when they're pointing it straight at you. But again, otherwise, use it. Like riflemen, boom. Just knock them out of the war. But he really should remember to use semi-armor piercing rounds. That's also a really good ability. I cannot stress how good it also is. We got the Rangeman Forces really doing some heavy lifting here for Sakura so far. You should retreat the MG42 there. Elpern can also begin pushing through armor soon. The Sakura will be getting shown ahead of Elpern and the Germans.
Enemy forces are securing
One goes good to go to get upgraded. It's rather extended. Definitely feel like Elpern's getting a bit punished again by that manpower float there earlier. And of course, evaluating the effectiveness of stormtroopers against rangers with Thompsons. 2 ranger squads with Thompson is quite a powerful infantry force there, and can really put some serious pain there down on Elpern's infantry. Admit to short ranges.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Sakura should be soon going for Sherman. You've got Parnies from the west side.
Losing a sector.
Rangers was the Grenadiere. And there you go, troops heading out.
Hey, listen up. Listen up. Gather round. Reinforcements.
Parnies moving up there. Machine gun grenades moving ahead. Parnies versus Rangers.
Sherman, ready for action.
Typical routed. There you go. Can call in the Sherman because it's Calliope they can also call on now. I don't think it'd be a great idea to call in Calliope now here for Sakura. They'll obviously at some point later on. Great, but now it would be a bad idea. Rangers caught them by some heavy fire from all the veteran grenadiers. We got grenades. Oh! That was another great throw there. Elpern just keeps walking into all of Sakura's traps here. Good lord. That's just painfully beautiful. But anyways, can soon go for Panther 4 Sherman is on the way there for Sakura and the 2nd Armored Division. Trying to integrate the unit retreat, but does require a bit better timing here. Now we got rangers not to retreat those grenadiers.
Capture point is being overrun.
Shingo moving up, close to the veteran fleet. And the 5's pack 40 exposed. Rather risky there. Pioneer sitting out. Open to replace losses eventually, but also needs to go for some tanks first. Rangers here, finally routed. But there you go, 5th come to the rescue, rending Elpern moving further ahead. I'm surprised he's trying to push further ahead, that closer to Sakura's base, with Archie pushing for fuel and again ensure that he gets more fuel faster for his tanks. Flanking it, but there you go, grenade off, grenade routing, shooting the grenade squad as well. Machinery precision, needs to be careful. There you go, I think he realizes he's extended, needs to retreat. He is getting closer to the Panther 4. He is getting closer, much, much closer.
Stand by. Orders.
Forcing him, and there you go, M4 3 Sherman will there for Sakura, adding the bulldozer blades. Very good, increases health and armor. Making it tougher nut to crack. On top of that, with the Urban Assault version, you also get access to white phosphorus. You don't actually need to upgrade the bulldozer blades, by the way, but you do have access to phosphorus shells there on the Sherman tank. Panther 1 away the Elpern. Major being shot to bits. There you go, Panther 1 away for Elpern, getting towards Gunnising eastwards. Journeying forwards, crashing everything in its way. Switching over to high force round to further punish and harass Elpern's in. There you go, Pack 40 gets away on the Sherman. Very nice hit. Second shot also goes through. Rangers for Gunnies got the M4 to support as well. Grenade off on the Grenadiers. Hoping to bait him into a retreat this time though. Elpern did not take the retreat, but really good skills there on, when it comes to Sakura, just chucking grenades in the retreat path. Really good grenade front skills there. Definitely I think a player that's very aware on how just other players operate and do things. There we go. Almost took into Elpern's bait as well, as very close. In fact, I guess they go, but just managed to avoid it. Punishing westwards, and there you go. Panzer fought there for Elpern and the German army, the Panzerkampfwagen 4. Sherman being fixed up, and Sakura can almost begin going for another Sherman already. Meanwhile, Elpern is far off from many tanks. In this regard, Sakura's fuel control has been very much on point, whereas Elpern, I feel like, has at least for now focused too much in the center victory point, and not enough on the fuel. And you can sort of see this could become a problem there for Elpern as the match goes on, if Sakura just swarms Elpern with bulldozer Shermans, or even 7-6 Shermans, as we've seen with Loveness. Those Shermans are also... Oh wait, that's my mistake. That's obviously mechanized. Again, for some reason I assumed that was also part of the doctrine, but you know, I'm talking nonsense. But even then, lots of bulldozer Shermans will be a problem there for Elpern. Even without 7-6 Shermans, what you see, it's the back them up. They will still be a significant headache there for Elpern. Because again, they will be able to soak up more damage, and that will be a problem. Grand Eastern Point here. In fact, upgrade the bulldozer blade. You effectively get a tank that's got roughly the same amount of armor, but more health than a Panther 4 Model J, plus access to high explosive rounds, self-repair, and smoke screens. for only, again, you know, a smaller price than the Panther for a modern day. But there you go, Calliope out here for Sakura. Obviously good with the support weapons, but I think he should have gone for another tank before heading for Calliope. Oh, double bounce there off the Sherman's armor. Panther 4, they're forced to fall back. Final shot there from the Pack 40 goes through the Sherman's armor. The Panther falls right down to half health here. More pouncing hits there, smoking off here from the Sherman on the Pack 40 position. Very good. West side, you've got Pioneers and more Pioneers trying to push. We need to fix up the Panther fast before coming to cover point, push back the Rangers. Union advance, got the 5th Cup, got the Major Cup in the centre, got the Sherman here. Calliope's moving up, there, go unleashing a Calliope barracks here on the machine gun here. A devastating deluge of death delivered directly at Elpern. Back in after fire going on, British consider more infantry, Panther will be stormtroopers, veterans, whatever, that definitely needs more infantry. Just going for more Gundiers, I guess. Guess he got scared off all the stormtroopers after they just kept getting them killed by the Rangers and the Thompsons. Troops reinforcing healing. Got another Pack 40 with the armor. Makes sense. That said, with the Calliope up, Pack 40's become, I think, significantly less safe. That is worth keeping in mind there. That is worth keeping in mind. Then he's moving up.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Lead crew on the way there.
A pack gun is ready for orders. The sector has been cut off.
Veteran Gundiers talking nonsense there again. I apologise. When he's holding up, he's got the Rangers moving about. 2 squads, 1 ace level already, and the other one is close to the ace level. And 2 ace level Ranger squad, by which would be a significant issue there. We got smoke off his well, we got cover to cover, though. Oh, right there. Cheeky. Using it to push ahead there. Very cheeky and efficient. Good push there by Sakura. Good use of military, by the way, there. Launch a aggressive attack here against Elpern. Pack 4 getting knocked up. Pack 4 number 2, they're opening up here in the Shannon. Pushing down to half health. Needs to get Blaze in there to help deal with it. Pack 4 turning around here. Small chance taking the Sherman. Got the smoke off here again there. Almost got the Sherman. Almost got it. Panther 4 going down the shot through. They need to keep. Oh! Ah! I feel like Elpern made a mistake. Could have saved the Panther 4 by just driven away into the sides. The ammunition. Oh, and the packs are getting cleared out. This is turning into a bit of a disaster here for Elpern. Didn't get the Sherman. Lost the Panther 4. And got both pack crews whacked. I mean, Sakura won't be able to run off with him, but that was definitely pretty awkward there for Elpern. But a really good executed attack there by Sakura. The good use of cover to cover alongside the Rangers and the Shermans, launching a push then and doing heavy damage to Elpern. So 2 thumbs up there to Sakura. I mean, it's so rare to see people use cover to cover in particular like this, but nice work there by Sakura. Nice work. Things moving about there, halfway to the ace level.
A capture point is being overrun.
And he's with Rob Squad, another Sherman away there for Sakura. Elpern at this point, I think he's going to have to go for a Stu to maybe have a shot at this. And probably a more to help deal with the 5th Government Church. Small flank here, and there you go. Got the Calliope flying away again. Need to get the machine out of the building. Oh, too late. Well, it's definitely a very risky move at this point to set a machine into the building, knowing the Calliope's apart and can quickly knock the building apart there. I guess Elpern might have been desperate. He forgot about the briefing due to see his stress. I mean, there's a lot of things going against him right now, so I can understand, like, you know, at this point, bad calculations might start entering his planning. So I know that one well. Nordic goes his rifle from the Rangers. Good shoot the Pioneers when he's flying away there. Then he's moving ahead. Then he's routed.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Second Sherman out there for Sakura. Then he's with the Rangers. Moving up the east level. Gonna chuck a grenade. Sherman holding back there. Then he's with the Rangers. More rifle from the north. Pack 40 being pushed back. And up here we got the second Sherman setting out the bolts blade almost from that one as well. Set good, set good. Very good. Very smooth. I don't know. Pack 40 is being hauled back. Elpern situation is looking a bit grim. He still has a decent force, but Sakura is increasingly outnumbering him, and he's just trying to like keep up there with Sakura's aggressive pace and maneuvers.
Armor here.
And Sakura is also a really great aggressive player, like just knows when to push and push hard.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Aggressive but without being reckless, I feel, which is a really good skill had to have there. You can see that Elpern's been pushed into reckless behavior now versus Sakura here in attempt to try and turn around. Almost taking out the Sherman with a double packs. Close one there. Might be able to finish off with a good attack round hit. So close. Instead, though, has presented a perfect time for the Calliope to open up here. Looks like might be able to get at least one pack out of that mess, but the other pack, yep, gets annihilated. East side here, Ganesh with the Sherman. Can soon go for a pattern to fault, but again, can't help but feel that Stooks might just be a more cost-efficient choice rather than dealing with the Shermans. If not, breakless the infantry, but again, got enough there to gun these. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Going for the Stoog here. Going for the Stoog. Pack destroyed. Sturmgeschütz as from G. But the question is, can Elpern use the Stoog to haul him out of this mess?
Sherman ready to go.
That's going to be the tougher question here for Elpern. We'll have to see if we can answer that one satisfactorily. Troops reinforcing healing. Stoog halfway down there for Elpern.
Armor here.
Rifle squad moving up back. Calliope hanging back. You know, it was not uncommon for tank crews to like improvise extra armor for their tanks. The question called whether or not was good. If it actually helped them, was worse. Make the tank's defense worse. That's some discussion there. But for the most part, it seems like overall commands allowed it because it made the crews feel safer. You know, at the very least. So in most cases, they would allow it. And there are kind of modifications. Now, bolts and blades, I don't think was actually used for that, but like you know, adding spare tracks to the front of the tank, that was a common one. Using sandbags was also not uncommon. In the case of the Stooks, they actually added concrete to the driver's seat as a sort of point there to improve that one. And concrete in general was also another one. And in some cases, they just weld more armor. In fact, I believe some Shermans were effectively upgraded to jumbo assault Shermans, sort of unofficially, by just welding more armor to the front of them. So, little fun fact there. We've got Rifle Ranger coming in here, 2 again ace Ranger squads there. Real challenge there for Elpern to deal with. Real challenge. Should have, of course, upgrade the Stoop with the Pinlight MG42. The 191 versus 94. Things coming up, showing we're here through the main western road. Guns being bombarded there. Calliope moving up, 10 kills, halfway to Veteran C1. He's finding eastwards, Rifle Squad routed there. The might of the Stoog, of course, proving too terrifying for the riflemen to survive. Now the MG42 there for Elpern to replace the one taken out by the Calliope. Big Ranger pushing back for the Sherman. Strong attack there by Sakura. Ganesh needs to get out of there. Up here, Ganesh to the Sherman. Stoog is starting to keep up there. And it's being swarmed with the Rangers. The Rangers just lay down so much firepower. I mean, they're effectively just better Panzer Grenadiers for the Thompsons because the Thompson, for some reason in game, has better DPS and better, shall say, DPS distribution than the assault rifle. Again, don't ask why. But it does. And then, of course, already topping the Panzer Grenadiers, so you basically get a 5-man Panzer squad of Rangers and the Thompsons. Obviously, a bit more expensive, but, you know, the end result is there nonetheless. Good push back there, man, so body being swarmed by the Sherman, very good. And it is unfortunately charging for the Rangers there. Pretty awkward there for Elpern, pretty awkward. Stoog setting out again. Elpern continues his base in there. Go Calliope, barrel shot, catch a lot of troops bunch up the side of the base and annihilate them. Fortunately, Elpern, for Elpern this, not for Sakura, Elpern's got most of the force up in this squad here by the medic bunker. He's likely going to get wiped unless he gets very lucky. Dead. Medic bunker somehow managed to get through it all, though it's less of a medic bunker and more like a medic flaming hole in the ground. Which isn't, you know, nearly as encouraging, comforting. Sakura goes for another Calliope. Might be overkill, but there's no kill like overkill.
Tank support is here.
And does go for Calliope. I mean, you know, just might as well just hammer them into the ground with all the rockets you can muster. 133 to 394. Situation is rapidly deteriorating here for Elpern. need to come up with some sort of tactical approach here that throws Sakura off for a bit, then so that way regain initiative. But the problem is currently Elpern just keeps attacking head on, hoping to wrest control of the center, rather than say one of the sides, and that way they'll catch Sakura off guard. And this makes it much easier for Sakura to defend and slow down Elpern, make it much harder for Elpern to make any progress. So definitely feel like part of the case here, the situation is looking a bit rough for Elpern. It's a case of tunnel vision on the center, which is always dangerous. At the same time, Arnhem Checkpoint is a great way to find out if you suffer from tunnel visioning too often, because again, like, players who do suffer tend to really get caught up in the centre of, like, you know, Arnhem Checkpoint, whereas good players like Sakura, as you might notice, is actually quite good at avoiding getting too focused on actually in control of the rest of the map there. Do they manage to target the weak point? Problem is, it's not a very good ability to heat shield it is, because it does less damage, messes with the reload speed as well, so it actually sort of really screws over the DPS, and the stupid on top of that, and even then it's like not a great stun either. Honestly, that since you want ability should be replaced with something a bit more useful. But anyways, at this point, I think Elpern may just be a bit, at least he's finally grabbed the eastern side here, but, and he can soon go for another Stu, so there's that. But, you know, it's looking a bit rough. He did take out a Sherman as well, so no, it's not all terrible. But the question is if we can, like, turn this around now.
A capture point is under attack.
Grenade on the MD-42, bit of smoke there by Sakura. More grenades, the MD-42 is not going to make it back home to Berlin. And there you go with this. Elpern gives up. GG, game over. A loss there for the German army, victory for Sakura. Again, part of the thing is just Elpern focusing too much at the centre. The unfortunate use of the Storms, again, always again, great usage of them, but don't pop tactical advance at Rangers pointing their Thompsons at you. Like, if you're up against elite assault infantry, like regular assault infantry, they're popping their submachine guns at you, don't pop it. If they're focusing on something else, knock yourselves up, but otherwise, don't pop it there. That's probably one of the best pieces of advice I can give you there. I mean, always against other infantry, fine, do it. It can actually work out quite well in picking up at close ranges, but again, even then, like, you know, want to be close, but against us other assault infantry, don't do it. Otherwise, you know, then the mid-time floating there, plus the over-focus on the centre, I think they were sort of the things that caused Elpern to lose the match. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell family, and of course, you know, feel free to share the YouTube channel. Of course, also worth knowing, I mean, Sakura also just played really well. Good mind games, good understanding how Elpern played the game, able to bait him into several times, you know, getting wipes. They're really good players as well, but Sakura, just, you know, 1 point there as well. But again, Elpern did, I think, make some crucial mistakes that did cost the game. But anyways, there you go. Cheers, everyone, and see you all. Bye.